Hello again, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina, I am your host. Go ahead and like, follow, subscribe if you haven't yet. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And if you haven't yet, please head over to my website, destinationbabyandkids.com. You can buy one of the fabulous strollers that we're going to be talking about today, the UPPAbaby VISTA version 3 versus the UPPAbaby CRUZ version 3. Remember, the best way to show your support for this YouTube channel is to go to destinationbabyandkids.com and buy these products directly from me. You can check out all the accessories there, and we have other fabulous products. So toys, clothing, everything best for baby, furniture, chairs, whatever you want. We've got it at destinationbabyandkids.com, can ship directly to you. Okay, let's launch into the UPPAbaby VISTA V3, which is on the viewer's left, versus the UPPAbaby CRUZ version 3, which is going to be on your viewer right. Okay, so CRUZ, as you can see, we have in a beautiful color called Callum, new for this year. That's going to have a peanut butter leather and be blue. And then the Kenzie, which we're showing on the VISTA version 3, this is going to be sort of a blue-green color, very, very cool, again, new for this year, and it has the chocolate brown leather. Now, incidentally, UPPAbaby is the only brand that uses real leather on their products. What about Silver Cross? What about Bugaboo? Nope, nope. It's just UPPAbaby. So if you want to feel that real leather, it's going to be an UPPAbaby product, okay? Just so that we're aware of that. We're going to run through the statistics of how these guys are sort of similar, and then we will take a closer look at how they're different. So some similarities between them is that they both are going to have a 3-year warranty. The pricing is actually relatively similar. Our CRUZ is going to clock in at $8.99. The VISTA is going to be $9.99. They both have the 3-year warranty. Our backrest length is about the same on both products. So on CRUZ, from the butt to the tippy top of the seat, that is going to be 20 inches. On VISTA, it's 21 inches. Our canopy clearance on either product, which is how much room there is from the butt to the top of the canopy for the kid's head, that's great on both because they both have this option to extend your canopy up for a growing body. They're going to have a 24-inch canopy clearance. So we love that on either one of these products. Now, harness height. The CRUZ has a harness height distance that'll go between 8 inches up to 15 and a half. And then the VISTA is going to be 10 inches going up to 15 inches. CRUZ starting a little smaller makes sense. As we get further in the product, this will become clearer in a little bit. Seat width on the VISTA is 11 inches. CRUZ slightly narrower, 10 and a half. The depth on the CRUZ is a little shallower. You're at 8.5 versus VISTA V3 is 9 inches. The crotch belt depth on both is 4.5 inches. Knee drop, so that is the knee coming down to leg extension. That's the leg piece coming down. So our leg extension on CRUZ is 9 inches. On VISTA, our leg extension is going to be 11 inches. Knee drop is all the different points for feet to sit as kiddo is getting bigger. So our knee drop here is going to run you between 9, 13, and 15 and a half, whereas on VISTA, we are at 10, 15, and 18. So again, VISTA is a little longer, and the seat is more accommodating for a bigger bodied kiddo. Both of these products have a magnetic buckle, which is a 3-point magnetic buckle, very easy to take kiddo in and out, very one-handed, which is nice for a component like that. Now, another thing that is similar between these two products is the handle height. Both of them have height adjustable handles. Both of them start at 39.5 inches, and our tallest setting will go up to 43 inches. The VISTA, as you can see, has a larger rear tire. That's 12 inches versus CRUZ has a 10-inch rear tire. CRUZ version 3, 10-inch rear tire, 7-inch front tire. VISTA version 3, 12-inch rear tire, 8-inch front tire. So our front tires are both relatively similar, but our back tires on VISTA are definitely bigger. And usually this means that a handle height would come up taller on this product, but we just wanted to point out that it would be the same. Now, if you look at the baskets, CRUZ is a little bit wider of a stroller. Your overall width on CRUZ is going to be, VISTA is a little bit wider between the two. CRUZ is narrower. So VISTA's width is 25.7 inches. CRUZ version 3, being narrower, is 22.8 inches wide. And that width is reflected on those rear tires. You see that a little bit more clearly. Another thing that will be a byproduct of that is basket size. The CRUZ basket is just a little bit smaller holds 25 pounds. The Vista basket is larger, holds 30 pounds. The opening on the back of either one of them, the opening on the back of the Vista is going to be 12 inches, and the opening on the back of the CRUZ is 14 inches. Our front openings are relatively similar on both, but we'll get into that in a second. Our basket size for the CRUZ is 14 inches wide versus 25.5 inches deep. And then on Vista, we're 15 inches wide by 30 inches deep. So again, Vista definitely a little bit bigger of a basket. Our Vista opening in the front is ridiculous. When you have your leg piece up, your front opening here is 14 inches, and your front opening here on CRUZ, I believe, is 11 inches. So they are both huge baskets with very, very good accessibility. They both will have a sandal-friendly brake, so if you're wearing a flip-flop or a nice sandal, you'll be able to hit the brake, no problem. They both have locking front tires for all-terrain walking, which is great. Both of them are a two-handed fold, and both of them will have the handle touch the floor when the stroller is folded. So we'll demonstrate that right now. On the Vista, to fold it, what you would do is you make sure your handle is set to its tallest. The gray piece in the center will adjust that. There's two triggers on the side. You shoot those little guns like duck hunt, press down. Stroller will stand, press the two gray buttons on the footrest, and this is your smallest setup and locked mode for your Vista. Now for CRUZ, it's a little bit different. So you're gonna recline the seat to be aligned with the frame of the stroller, I think right there. I'm gonna make my handle short here. I don't want it tall, I want it short. I'm gonna hit those two gray triggers again, just like duck hunt. Stroller will fold up, stands toward me. We're gonna have the foot plate come down, and then we'll have the little bumper bar come up. All of those are adjustable with various gray buttons. So again, the product is gray, calls out to the consumer how to have moving pieces interact. So we love that usefulness of that color organization. So as you can see, your CRUZ is definitely a little bit tighter of a fold than your Vista, although if you recline your Vista a little bit, you do get a smaller fold. Both of these guys have handles. I frequently hear, there's nowhere to lift it. There is. You grab the bar that runs through the basket. Okay, so CRUZ is gonna be 25.5 pounds. It's not too heavy. There is a gray lock on either one of these strollers that you engage to open them up. So it's very, very simple if you know that you're looking for a gray piece. On Vista, the weight here is 28.5 pounds. Again, we have that same handle in the basket. Come to the front, you can grab it. It feels nice and even weighted. And again, 28.5 pounds. So wider and heavier, bigger tires, that makes sense. So we're looking at products that are pretty similar so far, right? Where is this difference? Well, like I mentioned before, if we're gonna look at these guys like cars, CRUZ is much more like that Tahoe, whereas the Vista is gonna be more like a Suburban. So Vista is not newborn compatible out of the box. Now, this is very surprising to consumers because Vista is a more expensive product. But the reason that Vista is more expensive is that Vista can actually grow with your family and work for multiple kids simultaneously, whereas the idea behind CRUZ is sort of like the perfect single stroller, okay? So if we wanted to use this Vista for a newborn without a car seat or a bassinet, what you typically do with a stroller is you would turn the seat around, then you would go ahead and recline it to its deepest recline level. Now, as you can see, when I recline this Vista, the overall seat does not change. That is called a tilt-in space recline, where the whole seat tilts. Yes, it goes 180 degrees, but the seat doesn't go flat. CRUZ is going to have what is referred to as a lie-flat recline. So when you recline it, the whole thing goes totally flat. This type of recline, a lie-flat recline, will be suitable for a newborn, whereas a tilt-in-space recline is not suitable for a newborn. And a cool thing about this CRUZ, I've got this other CRUZ set up to show. This is a color that's being discontinued called Declan. It's probably on sale. You can head to destinationbabyandkids.com and buy it on sale since it's being discontinued. I don't know when that starts, but something to keep your eye on. So as you can see, when it's in its reclined, fully reclined mode with the canopy fully extended and the sunshade and the little foot piece up, it makes sort of like a semi-bassinet for the product just right out of the box, which is very cool. Now, this is not an overnight sleep certified bassinet. You can buy that for your Vista separately. So I'm going to take the seat off the Vista and put this bassinet, which is, I believe, $279, and that can go right onto the Vista frame. Now, this bassinet will also clip onto the CRUZ. However, I would argue most stores are going to be far more successful selling this with the Vista because the CRUZ seat already works for a newborn, already does that lay flat recline. You're getting a flat with a bassinet. That's essentially what you're buying. So we're going to push this Declan guy out of frame. We'll go back to the CRUZ shown here in the Callum color. And again, this seat is modular. This is not because that one's different than this one. This seat will turn. The seat will do the full recline in both positions. I'm just not going to undo the sunshade on this one and the foot plate to high heaven in order to do that newborn setup. But as you can see here, we're flat in the same way we're flat with bassinet. So where the bassinet advantage would be is if you wanted to have a baby 6 months and under, go directly from stroller frame onto a bassinet stand. They would be able to do that, and then this would be acceptable for overnight sleeping. So if you wanted that option to like have them go overnight or nap for long periods, bassinet is very useful, and that'll work from 0 to 6 months. The stand is sold separately. That is also made by UPPAbaby. That comes in 3 different colors. The stand is going to be $199. Now, another really cool thing, if you ended up buying that bassinet and the bassinet stand, is that you can buy these awesome, dusty box, but awesome hamper inserts. Okay, so these are little hampers that hook on to that stand, because remember, after 6 months, that bassinet is going to fold up and go away. We'll have the stand. We could fold the stand and put it away, but who doesn't need more hampers in their life? You can have hampers that go directly on your stand, and those are sold separately. Very smart to register for. Price point on those guys is going to be $69.99, which is very cool. Another thing that you could do for your Vista, if you wanted to use it from birth right out of the box, but you didn't want to buy the bassinet, is you could use the seat like what you've seen that I'm doing right here, and then you would buy what is called the UPPAbaby Snug Seat. This is a super cool product. This gives you a seat liner, but there's also a robust pillow that's included that goes under the body that hoists the baby's body up so that their head and neck are in alignment, so that their head doesn't tip down, tilt forward, and cut off their breathing, which is why a tilt and space seat is not suitable for a newborn. We do not want that chin to come down and touch the chest and cut off breathing. So, snug seat, we can use it for a new baby. Then later you take the big stupid pillow out from behind it, and then you have this awesome liner that catches crumbs for while they're eating. A third solution, and this will work for either of these strollers, and this is what most people do, is you will be able to go ahead and do a car seat directly onto the stroller. Now, UPPAbaby is great because you could do a variety of different car seats, but they do make their own car seat. If you buy their brand infant seat, it will hook directly onto the frame with a direct connection. This means no adapters, no ring, no clippies, nothing. We're just going to take the car seat and put it right on the frame, and it's going to click in. The other cool thing is it can go either direction. And another cool thing, and I've done this deliberately, I'm showing an older UPPAbaby car seat on here. This is a Mesa version 2. Old car seat. It is backward compatible. It is working on an UPPAbaby Vista V3 frame. So if you have an older car seat or an older bassinet, for the most part, 99% of them are going to be backward compatible. If they're super old, like from prior to 2010, you know, probably won't work. But just something to be aware of. Now, if we go with CRUZ, I'll go ahead and remove this seat, take that off, and I will put the new Aria V3 car seat, ultra lightweight infant car seat in Callum, matching directly on the stroller frame. Why am I bringing this up? Because if you wanted this peanut butter leather to be consistent on your products, you're gonna wanna make sure you buy them in the same colorway, okay? Because not every leather handle color is gonna be identical throughout these products. And just to give you guys a sample of what I'm talking about, these color samples should be at any store that you go and shop at, but you see different color materials will have a different color leather. So it is not uniform throughout the products. And that's why if you're going to pick a car seat and you want it to complement the frame of the stroller the same way, you're probably going to want to stay in the same colorway. Okay, so just things to be aware of there. We'll go ahead and remove the seat. Again, the seat can clip on facing either direction. So very cool. Now remember, like we said, this CRUZ version 3, this is more like that Chevy Tahoe. So meant for pretty much one kiddo, and it's sort of like the perfect one kid stroller. If we're talking about Vista, again, we can make this newborn compatible with car seat, with bassinet, with snug seat, but the seat that comes with it, as I pointed out, is slightly larger than the one for CRUZ. And the reasoning behind that is because they are thinking that this product for families could grow into a 1, a 2, or a 3 kid solution. And if you're like, oh my God, that sounds terrifying, it is. Let me walk you through it. So your baby was in the car seat, they did that for 6 months, and then you switched them to the stroller seat, and now you've got your 2-year-old and your newborn. How do you maneuver around that? Well, what you would do if you had a Vista is you would buy what are called upper adapters, and those are going to be, I think, like $29.99. Those clip on and they're color organized, blue to blue and yellow to yellow. Those will clip on the top part of the frame. And then you're going to buy a second seat that'll clip onto the front of the stroller. That is called a RumbleSeat. A RumbleSeat will come with a special pair of adapters called RumbleSeat adapters. You don't want to use any other kind of adapter with a RumbleSeat other than a RumbleSeat adapter. They also make lower adapters. Those do not work with RumbleSeat, okay? So we've got the RumbleSeat adapters on. Now we're going to take the RumbleSeat, which also has a canopy that can slide up for a growing body, and RumbleSeat is going to clip right on the front. And RumbleSeat also has recline, as you can see, and RumbleSeat can go both directions, same way as front seat. So this is a very cool accessory. This you purchase when you're ready, and price point on RumbleSeat is going to be $300. RumbleSeat also has that backrest that can remove for ventilation, like we have on the main seat, which I haven't shown you guys yet, but I'll be sure to do. But as you can see, that's going to be the RumbleSeat, and your car seat that you already own. UPPAbaby VISTA car seats have a lifetime warranty, 7-year expiration, so 7-year warranty. Car seat's going to clip right on the top. So now we have our 2-year-old and our newborn, and we're all good to go. Very, very cool. Now let's say this little kid is 7 or 8 months and they're sick of being in the car seat. We can take our 2.5-year-old and they're going to move up. Moving on up. No, so they're going to move up to this spot on top in the Vista seat that came with the stroller, that one that's been in hiding. We bring it back, and now this guy is going to be able to have 2 kids on it, no problem. Now, let's say you have a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. How does that look? Oh my gosh, horrifying, right? Well, not necessarily. One thing that they do very, very well is they help you grow with your family. So they make this skateboard called a PiggyBack. I'm gonna do my best to put this on effectively. This should just snap right on. This is for bigger, older children to ride on the back of the product. They claim that this can all be done with no tools. Dang, I got that on pretty easily. And now this seat has a gray button, comes down, this board, and it's just gonna sit like that. So the board is for an older kiddo to stand and ride. We can have our newborn in the car seat, 4-year-old doing the skateboard, standing, riding, hopping on and off when they're excited. And then we've got our 2-year-old sitting in the front. So for a long day, Vista's gonna get you covered because it works with all 3 kiddos, and you buy what you need as you need it. So again, RumbleSeat sold separately for $300, and then our PiggyBack, I believe, is $179. Yep. Now there's other really cool features that these strollers have that are like accessories that would be cross-compatible. So they would work for either product. Examples of those accessories are going to be the bassinet stand, the hamper inserts. Here we've got a carry-all. This is for drinks and your phone and cool stuff to hang right on the back of the stroller. Let's say you want a hot coffee. You can do the UPPAbaby cup holder. The cool thing is this cup holder comes with 4 brackets. So if you buy other UPPAbaby strollers, that cup holder is going to be able to move from product to product very, very easily, which is very cool. I'm going to go ahead and take this piggyback off. PiggyBack is also available for CRUZ. However, it is a different piggyback. So I wouldn't say that that is a cross-compatible piece. I would say that piece is specific to whichever one you're buying. But you could turn CRUZ into a 2-kid stroller with a standing riding board on the back, and then the option for the other child to be sitting on the stroller frame. However, Vista is the version where 2 kids can be sitting on the frame simultaneously when you make those additional purchases. Now, as I was mentioning before, this seat on the Vista has a really nice feature called all-season liner, where when you remove the liner in the seat, the back of the seat has mesh. That is for breathability. So if it's hot, air is going to go through here, and your kiddo, your big heavy toddler that's 3 years old at the state fair, hopefully won't roast to death because they're in this seat that has the mesh ventilation for the air to move through. So I think that is a really nice feature. A lot of the strollers are starting to do that. It's interesting to me that they did not include that on CRUZ version 3. So the CRUZ version 3 seat, it does have a liner. And when I bring this close to camera, you guys will see the liner is fully removable. But when we remove the liner, the rear of the seat is just regular, right? It's not breathable. So that's going to be a big difference between these 2 models. Now, the liner on the CRUZ is smarter because it goes under the butt, whereas the liner on the Vista just does the backrest. However, they do make, sold separately, a seat liner. This is cross-compatible, and actually these work for a million different brands of strollers. These are awesome. They come in a bunch of different colors. They're reversible. They'll sit in the stroller, and so when crumbs and crap get on your stroller, you can pull this out, shake it out, wash this, instead of having to worry about all that material that's on the stroller. Now, all of that is removable, washable, but why you would want to make your life harder versus easier is beyond me. Another thing that you could do, cross-compatible, is the front tray. This is sweet. That will work with a drink and all kinds of food. The tray component pops off and can go in the wash. So if you want to keep it clean and not have disgusting fingerprints all over it, you can do that. Again, UPPA's the most like Apple. You stay within their ecosystem and everything works together brilliantly. Another feature I'm obsessed with. These are not cross-compatible, they're specific, but this is a basket cover. This is new for this last year. This gives you the option to keep your basket covered in public places. So if you want to put a bunch of cool stuff in your basket and not worry about little sticky fingers getting in there and people going through and rummaging through your stuff, you should get the basket cover. That's going to run, I believe, $30. Excellent price point for registry. Another super cool accessory that will work in either the CRUZ or the Vista basket is this bevy cooler. So this is a way to bring kids snacks or adult snacks. White Claws, just kidding, to the soccer games. Nope, just kidding, you wouldn't want to be that parent. But you could put whatever you wanted in it and it just sits directly in the basket. And it's down there unassuming and you still have that outrageous opening at the front. What did we say it was, like 14 inches? So you're still going to be able to get in there and do whatever you need to do. So this is awesome. Okay, hopefully we've cleared up for the viewing audience at home Differences between these two products, again, biggest difference is price. $9.99 will grow out to $2 or $3. $8.99 can theoretically grow out to $2, but it's meant more to be just kind of a one kiddo stroller. They both come in tons of colors. Head on over to my website, destinationbabyandkids.com. You can check out all the colors. You can check out all these accessories. You can check out pricing for the accessories. You can check out the different colors for the seat liners. Maybe you have a totally different stroller and you want that seat liner. That's okay. I sell it for strollers all day that are not UPPAbaby. It works with a ton of different brands. Head over to destinationbabyandkids.com, check it out, leave questions or comments below, and feel free to check out any of my other videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate every viewer, every view.